speaker, Mr. Giriraj Verma, serves as General Manager, Product Engineering for Fevle Transport India, a web tech company. Mr. Giriraj joined Fevle Transport India in January 2019, has more than 25 years of global engineering and leadership experience in the field of refrigeration and air conditioning in rail transportation and the automotive domains. Prior to joining Fevle Transport India, he was working with Denforce Industries, Chennai, in global R&D, having leadership role. He took Denforce R&D of refrigeration and air conditioning division to great heights with state-of-the-art setup, increasing team sizes, and commendable contribution to the group. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm Giriraj Verma from Webtech Operations. Greetings to all eminent viewers and panelists, respectable participants of railway organizations, railway board, zonal head offices, state metro boards offices, honorable railway ministers, and Mahua. In this sessions of technology, we will speak about green HVAC systems. The agenda will go as follows. I'll be first introducing you to the WebTech positions, where we stand in the world of railway, and how we strategize for the future of railway in the world as well as in India. Later, I'll be briefly talking to you through three technology initiatives which I have chosen to reflect in this session. The first is air quality, which is the most relevant in today's scenario of epidemics. The next topic will be the most relevant idea of today of green air conditionings through future of refrigerants. And in the last important topic of the pioneering idea of energy saving bias. So WebTech is not a new name in railway industry. We have vast product portfolio and the solution both pillars of the railway industry, freight and transit. In transit, for climatic control, that is HVAC, we have been providing this product and solution since 1952. What we offer as value proposition is tailored products tailored to car environment and several external conditions depending on the locations. As we have presence across the world, we are truly a global partner for end-to-end products and solutions. We possess design capabilities through latest technologies on all comfort amenities and offer our product and solution to the types of the rail transports modes. For example, very high speed trains, locomotives, CMU, DMU, EMUs, LRVs, metros, and latest Metro New. As a responsible partner to the world of railways, we have strong focus on environment and efficiencies of the system that we offer. In web tech, three major trends happening these days in the air conditioning area. Firstly, the focus on sustainability concerning the environment impact and corresponding regulation in the force. Secondly, the air quality. COVID has taught us the lessons to enhance air quality and reassurance to the passengers a safe and healthy air delivery system. Thirdly, energy saving. We know that HVAC is being the second largest energy consuming systems in the train. It is expected of us that we do more and more efficient HVACs. Let us talk about the air quality first. The solution that we offer is named as Blue Filter. We know that in public transportation system where a lot of people travel together, air quality could be of a concern, specifically in times of epidemic. Regional diseases, outbreaks of communicable diseases, or one or the more passengers traveling abroad having communicable diseases or similar cases. In such cases, air filtering systems in the train comes on the focus. This system can do both spread germs or protect them from filtering and eliminating them. It can spread the germs if the filter is not suitable for filtering such germs. On the other hand, it can reduce the chance to spread them if it is designed for these cases. Therefore, it is both risk and opportunity for the solution provider. The solution that we offer here is named as Blue Filter. Premium version offers higher performance, but at slightly higher pressure drop, and of course, slightly higher cost as well. It eliminates 92% viruses and 83% bacteria per cycle, which is tested and certified by TUV Nord. Overall, it is seen eliminating minimum 99% of the viruses in less than or equal to 15 minutes, as tested on 5-6 viruses, which is similar to COVID. A standard version, which is slightly less on performance, but that offers no impact to the current system and maintenance. In the construction details, you can see that it is a unique combination of electrostatic and mechanical filtering. Though it is a patented design, it works on DC-DC converter operating on 110 volt, usually available in the train. Let me tell you a little bit more on construction. So the first area is where the electrostatic charge particle filtration happens with the DC-DC conversion. And the next area is mechanical filtering system, standard mechanical filtering system, which is slightly upgraded. Let's see a few major benefits. It is easily adaptable and can be installed with similar cases of current filters. Minimum depth is 100 millimeter needed. Length and width is customizable. It is having higher filtering capabilities than the current filters. Minimum filtering size of the current filters is 10 micron, where in this case it is 0.1 microns. That means 100 times smaller particle filtration is possible. It can deliver cleaner air immediately. The main benefit is that it is more cost competitive over other technologies for virus cleaning, that is ultraviolet technology. Any adaptation to the ultraviolet technology would result in constant cost overrun, as the source of the UV light need periodic replacements. In the most cases with UV filtration in railway, either it is ineffective due to the fact that the UV light need an exposure time to deactivate viruses, and an airflow system which is in which it is not practical to have long exposure of the UV light, it becomes impractical. On the other hand, in order to reduce exposure time, if someone increases the UV light intensity, the spectrum goes out of the safe area and it becomes harmful. So basically, blue filter is the optimum solution. Now let's talk about the green refrigerants. First, let us use the regulation. First, let us see the regulations in force, which are on fluorinated gases or the greenhouse gases. The regulation comes with the latest regulation comes basically with Kigali Amendment on, which is actually the 8th Amendment on Montreal Protocol, which was which came into the force 1989. The Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol is basically an international agreement with gradual reduction and uh, with a gradual reduction of production of hydrofluorocarbons. It is legally binding agreement designed to create rights and obligations in the international law. As per the agreement, these 197 members countries are expected to reduce the manufacture and use of hydrofluorocarbons by, let's say, 80 to 85% by 2045 from their respective baselines. This phase down is expected to arrest the global average temperature rise up to zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. It has successfully curbed the 98% production of chlorofluorocarbons or chlorofluorohydrocarbons in other ozone depleting substances and significantly contributed to the repair of the ozone hole. But as we know, this is not enough. Global warming is the next danger. HFCs will not cause any ozone depletion or hole on the ozone layer, but will create the global warming. As we know, it absorbs the sun's radiations and remain warmer and create higher average temperature in the environment. The effect is significant on polar regions, as we all know. There are three groups of the member countries. First group consists of the rich and developed countries like USA, UK, and EU countries, which were to start down HFCs by 2019 and reduce it to 15% of 2012 levels by 2036. The second group consists of emerging economies like India, China, Brazil, and some African countries who will start phase down by 2024 and reduce it to 20% of 21 by 2045. The third group consists of developing countries and some other hottest climatic countries like India, Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, etc., who will start phasing down HFCs by 2028 and reduce it to 15% of 2024 or 2026 level till 2047. Overall, it will prevent the emissions of HFCs equivalent to 70 billion tons of CO2, which is humongous. Let us see the ladder once again. First comes CFCs or HCFCs, which got eliminated first from the world. Then next comes HFCs. These under current regulations are out from existence in advanced part of the world and on the plan of elimination in the other part of the world. In India, it is still in use. In railways, R134A and R407C are the predominant versions of it, though other options are available like R513A, which is isotropic of R1234YF and 134A. Next in the ladder is HFO, which is R1234YF or ZE, etc. The next comes is a natural refrigerant like R290, propane. And the last in this ladder is the baseline refrigerant, which is R744, nothing but CO2. Let us see the comparison of the options. Barring CFCs and HCFCs, HFCs and the blends of HFCs plus HFOs are still significant on GWP scale. It can only be a temporary options. HFO, though they are low on GWP, but they are toxic in environment. If released, and then it creates trifluoroacetic acid, which is harmful. In neutral refrigerants, R290 stands as a better chance compared to CO2 and air cycle. Air cycles are somewhat suitable only for the aircraft systems using turbo machines, not for the railways. CO2 and air are not energy efficient solutions. CO2 systems have lesser COP and the air system is out of proportion, as we already seen. Let us compare more on R290 and its in-class competitor CO2 and AM. Weight of the HVAC system. R290 systems are comparable to HFC systems, while CO2 systems are much bigger and heavier due to its much higher working pressure in both transcritical as well as subcritical systems. On application, CO2 system does not have worldwide application in railways due to its limitations in hot or very hot climatic zones. CO2 systems are not good or not operable in hot or very hot climatic zones. Cost. On the cost front, CO2 systems are much costly due to its higher working pressures. Hence, specific components are needed for that. Compressors, heat exchangers, and also it has higher maintenance need because of the higher working pressures. On R290, let us see the flammability part. Flammability, flammable refrigerant R290 is of class A3 from ASHRAE 2013, but it's not toxic. As we have seen that it is comparable to R134A, it works well in all climatic zones in the world with suitable system designs, though it is not a direct drop-in replacement of R134A. Its flammability aspect is controllable, and we have made it true. With suitable designs, Wabtec has designed a system for R290 which is tested and certified by the world-renowned agencies like Federal Institute of Material, TUV, Federal Railway Authorities. Wabtec has built the first railway AC systems using R290 running in Deutsche Bahn since July 2020. The technology used is same as of existing technology and applicable for all climatic zones. Efficient heat pump option is also available in this. So in Wabtec, world's latest technologies are made available to India and ready to use as and when needed. Let us see the last option. Last but not the least, let's talk about energy savings in operation. As we know that AC system in the trains are the second largest power consuming systems. They consume 20 to 40% of the total power. Therefore, any saving in this substantial energy consumption would be enormous for the operator. One of the large portion of the AC system capacity is needed to to condition the fresh air which is being delivered to the saloon. This fresh air is essential to keep the CO2 level in the saloon as its maximum level, which in approximation is around 2500 to 2600 ppm. This incoming fresh air being the additional heat load, therefore it requires to be kept at optimum level. The regulation of the fresh air intake with respect to the number of the occupants in the saloon is done to keep at optimum level. It is done by operating on the fresh air doors closer percentages. In the current method, this FAD operation is done based on the axle load as per the number of the occupants. The regulation is in wider step of 25%, that is 0%, that's full closed, 25% open, 50% open, 75% open, or 100% open. But the step gap, which is 25%, is very large. Beside it, it does not represent the actual scenario. When the doors are open at the station, the air exchange happens, but this is not observed in the current systems. The FAD is kept wide open despite giving much lower CO2 level than the optimum. As such gaps are bridged in the all such gaps are bridged in the new methods. This new method actually, in actual case, CO2 level is measured in saloon and FAD is operated the precise angle of the closer, which is based on the actual measurement of the CO2 level. In this way, we have seen that nearly 10 to 30% saving can be achieved based on the different operating conditions that are region, operating hours, ambient conditions, occupation level, solar load, target loads, other conditions, etc. In one specific case, which is demonstrated in one of the metro by Waptec, it was observed that we have seen 15 to 20% energy saving in operation. This system is being fitted currently as on day to day into the metro fleet. The broad requirement is to fit the CO2 system at an optimum place to sense the most representative level of the CO2 in the saloon, which is nothing but the return air pathway of the HVAC. This CO2 sensor is connected to the controller to control the CO2 level using a logic which can also be fine-tuned based on the system-to-system variations. This system can be toggled frequently during the run with respect to the load-based systems depending on the situations. So with this system, I think there's a lot of benefit that going to come on in the running metro fleets. With this, I thank you all, dear participants. Thanks all for participating and your viewership. I'm eagerly waiting to meet you at the event. Let's meet you all, eminent viewers. Thank you.